Twist of feet on the floor, echoes left from before. Step into a name worn thin, leave my shadow to begin. Why does fate taste so real? Why hum under the heel? Twist of fate, twist of thought. Every lesson I was taught. Worlds are shaped by what we do, not the myths we once held true. Do is fitting the line, action bending design. Memory runs through my spine, thought coils inward, divine. Is it waste or will I choose? Is it hunger or a bruise? Does the mind make fate appear? Or does fate pull thought near? Twist of thought, twist of feet, twist of fate, where we meet.
Kingship was handed down to them to be the liaison between the Anunnaki and mankind after the Great Flood. Now, prior to the Great Flood, we have the Sumerian Kings list, which is located in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, England. This list is a stone tablet that's covered in four sides with ancient texts and cuneiform writing that has been deciphered for over 180 years that gives you the ruling and the kingship of these kings and the years that they ruled. One king, Algar, will rule for 28,000 years. Another king ruling for 36,000 years. Another king rules for 14,000 years.
You said it again?
14,000. 8 kings ruled for over 241,000 years.
Okay, so if they're living this long, and they're obviously intentionally living that long, but prior to that, they were dying. There was actual death.
Well, no, these kings weren't dying. These are beings that had found a way to achieve a version of immortality.
Right.
Some of them could die because in these tales, in these epics, some are actually murdered and killed through battle and war. So they can
normal death, like
normal death,
nothing crazy.
Yeah, sometimes they can't bring them back.
Okay.
Sometimes they can bring you back, and sometimes they can't.
And why did they want to stay alive so long? Like, were they avoiding something? They know something about if they die, they go somewhere?
They just had achieved this high level of geneticism and genetics and DNA and telomere perseverance and all these different techniques to extend life.
Kind of like what we're trying to do now.
It's the same exact thing. We're only doing exactly what they were doing.
So is there any evidence of what they thought would happen in an afterlife? Was there an afterlife?
Well, the Egyptians, when you go from the Kemetics, so where I was going with the Kemetic people were taught about this life extension, and they were taught how to mummify. That was the original origins of mummification. They weren't taught to be mummified, that the kings would be mummified for the purpose of going into the afterlife and sailing on the solar boat. That became a mythology later on with the dynastic era Egyptians. The reason why these kings would be buried in the Valley of the Kings with all their gold, all their money, their wives, their cats, right? I mean, the maids and everything else was because they believed they were going to come back and use that. If you were going to go on a solar boat to head into the afterworld, why would you kill everybody and have your money there? Because clearly, you know, your money can't be used in the afterlife. It was because they were told by these beings, who were their relatives, that we preserve you. This is the technique to preserve your DNA. And we will clone you, we will bring you back, and you will have access to your riches again.
And then again, where are they going? Like, if they're coming back, they have a perception of where they're going.
Well,
what the afterlife is like.
Yeah, their perception of the afterlife was, you know, in the ancients like Shilbaba and these other, the underworld and everything else. But a lot of that became mythology.
Just mythology.
The true fact is that they thought they were really coming back to live life again here in the third dimension and regain control of their own kingdom.
So that's different than the standard belief of reincarnation. That is intentional.
They say that they learn how to incarnate at will. And both the Atlantean, he says, I can incarnate at will on and in the plane I desire. He's talking about incarnating not only in the third dimension, he says he can incarnate into higher dimensions.
What's going on in those dimensions?
Well, there's life in every dimension. We know that the universe itself is comprised of at least 11 dimensions, according to theoretical physicists, like Michio Kaku, for example. Otherwise, the universe would actually collapse. The numeric models would say that it would literally collapse on itself. We also discovered at the Brain Institute about 4 years ago that the human brain connects to 11 dimensions. So we see this connection between the brain and the universe, both having connectivity to higher dimensions. And so in each dimension is a realm. And all these dimensions are stacked directly on top of each other. We're sitting with dimensions stacked on top of us right now. They're compactified less than one Planck unit away from the next one in a 90-degree angle. And so that means that each